Hey guys, it's Claire here. Now in today's video, what I want to talk about is something a little bit controversial, which is why I strongly feel that designers should be passing on their trade discounts to their clients. So I've got 4 reasons why I think it's super important. And I know it's controversial because I know there is sort of a long history in the design industry of designers either splitting the markup with their clients and taking a cut of it, or not passing on trade discounts at all because they feel that's the only way to make good money in the industry. And I want to try and debunk that myth. I have never passed on, so I should say I have always passed on my trade discounts to my clients, and I had a very successful multi-six-figure business. So there is easy ways to make money even when you're passing on your trade discounts. And I think there's lots of other benefits of passing on your trade discounts as well, as I'm going to describe in this video with my 4 tips for you. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss future videos. And if you are watching this video on Instagram, then please make sure to be following The Little Design Corner or my personal page, Claire Leroy, to get more videos like this and to watch more videos that will help you with your design business. So that's the little preamble of that, and let's get stuck into the actual tips that I have for you for why you should definitely be passing on your trade discounts. So number 1, and the most important, is that when you pass on your trade discounts, what I find and found in my own situation is that you can charge higher design fees. So what I used to say to my design clients in my fee proposal, which created a real value add and a tangible value for them, was that I pass all of my trade discounts on to you in full. And as a result of that, generally what you find is that you claim back my design fees in the trade discounts that you are able to access by working with me. So yes, I don't get a cut from the trade discounts that way, but I was able to charge higher fees than other designers. And so I felt good about that because I was still making good money. And then they felt good about it because they could see that tangible value that they were getting from working with me as their designer. So for example, if there was a project that, perhaps it was a big house furnishing project and we were going to be spending up to $100,000 of money in furniture, I would say to them, yes, my design fees for furnishing your full house might have been something like $12,000 or something like that for a project of that magnitude, but I can get you probably $10,000 in trade discounts as a result of my sort of relationships with my suppliers. And so there they can see, okay, well, I'm going to save $10,000 on furniture that I'm about to purchase by working with Claire, but she's charging $12,000, but like I'm getting about the same, so I'm basically getting my design for free. So they are not silly, clients are not silly, and they will see how that sort of all works in their mind. So that was just the way that I used to approach it, and it used to work really well for me, and I used to still make very good money. So it's not an excuse to say that you won't be able to make money this way, and you can justify those higher design fees. So that's the first thing. My second point is to always put yourself in your client's shoes. So I think there's a lot of chance for it to feel really icky if you are not passing on your trade discounts. So first of all, I know of a lot of shady stuff that happens in the design industries where designers do shady deals with their suppliers, or they don't disclose all of their markups that they're making on their furniture. And because of that, you can end up feeling a little bit stressed out because you can worry that clients are going to go behind your back and try and get better deals than you can get. It encourages that behavior from clients to try and get better deals. So if you aren't passing on the discount, some suppliers do then make negotiations with clients directly. It undermines everything you're trying to do with your client, and then it just makes everything feel really icky, and it can make you feel a bit stressed as well. The other thing that I think in terms of putting yourself in the shoes of your client is if you are getting a cut on the furniture that you, or the supplies, or the whatevers that you're suggesting for a project, it won't necessarily be the case that this would happen because you're an ethical person, I'm sure. But from the client's perspective, say you're picking from this sofa and this sofa, and then they see that you're getting, X cut, or you happen to be getting X cut from that sofa over this sofa. How do they know in their mind that you're just not picking that sofa because you're getting more money for, suggesting that sofa for them? Or why, when you're recommending the more expensive sofa over the less expensive sofa, and you are taking a cut off the top of their sofa, of course they're going to think, well, of course she's going to pick the more expensive sofa because then she gets a bigger cut. That may not be the case with your thinking of how you actually are thinking about it, but that in terms of the client's experience, which I am so passionate about, that is potentially how a client could think about it. So always put yourself in the shoes of your client. Think about how you would feel if you were working with a professional and the sorts of things that would go through your mind. If there's any feeling where you think, oh, that would be a bit icky, then I don't think that you should be doing it. So that's my second reason why I think that you should definitely be passing on all of your trade discounts. The third reason is transparency. So I've already mentioned that briefly, but there's no anxiety for you to then worry about clients trying to go and find out what your cut is with a supplier. Most suppliers won't tell a client, but some of them make mistakes, or you catch a new staff member who, has a clever client who's able to twist the words and get the information that they need. And so, you just run the risk of doing sort of shady things that, make clients feel uncomfortable, or to make you feel stressed out because you worry that these things might get caught out. So even if you're being fully transparent about disclosing your trade markups, which you 100% should be doing, if you are marking anything up, it should be all disclosed in your client agreement. You just still run the risk of clients being able to go behind your back and work with the suppliers to try and get their furniture, marked down. It just doesn't have that nice feeling about it. So that's the third reason why I think it's important. Why I don't think it's nice to have that markup on top of your orders. And then the fourth reason is that it's just a pain. So I actually did a little bit of markup stuff in the early days of my own design business. And what I found personally was the paperwork that was involved in having to set up a second invoice, add my markup, send it out to the client, chase up the thing. Then I'd have to bring in the money into my bank account, and then I've got to pay the supplier, and then, something inevitably goes wrong and I'm the middleman and blah, blah, blah. And then eventually it's just not worth the $100 that I was getting off the top of the item. So for me, I always value my time over everything else. And that process of like fiddling around with all the individual paperwork. So think about that example I just gave you of the project with the $100,000 worth of furniture. That's a lot of invoices and doubling of paperwork. And so it's just a lot of extra work for you, or even if you get a VA or someone to do it for you, it's still just a lot of extra paperwork that just I think is not necessary. So that's the fourth reason, double invoicing everything just for $100 here and there and things like that. It just takes almost longer to sort all of that invoicing out than it does to just not worry about it altogether when you think of how much time it takes to actually put into that. So charge higher fees. Don't charge your trade discounts don't hand on all your trade discounts and charge higher fees, and then it's all built into your fees and you don't have to worry about any of this doubling up and all this extra paperwork. So those are my 4 tips and the reasons why I so strongly believe that you should not be I've got to try and get this right, so that you should be passing on your trade discounts in full to your clients. So just to recap, I really think it's important because you can charge more for your design fees. You just always should be putting yourself in the shoes of your design clients and thinking, how would I feel if I was in that position? It is so much better for transparency. You don't run the risk of feeling stressed that they're going to go behind your back. It's always just really clear. You get all my discounts, end of story, no discussion. You won't get a better deal if you go to them directly because you're already getting the best deal. And then finally, it's just less paperwork and less hassle for you that way as well. So I hope you found that helpful in some way. And thanks very much for watching. As a reminder, if you are on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, because I have lots of different videos like this where I help designers grow and scale and make their businesses more profitable and more professional. And if you aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you do that at The Little Design Corner or over at my personal page at Claire Leroy. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.